Hey guys, how's it going? What you don't notice is this is the actually the second time that I'm recording this video. The first time was terrible. Okay, but here we go. Okay, our goal, as always, it's right here. Okay, after today, I will be able to explain how slope affects graphs and tables. Now, you guys kind of saw that today with when you have different points, how that affects slope of a graph. Okay, well, it does the same thing with a table. We're going to look at that first. Now, we've already talked about the linear equation y equals mx plus b. Okay, your m, that's your slope. In this case, our slope is 3, and it is positive. Okay, I'm just going to write POS for positive. Okay, what that means is that your y values increase. Okay? Now, we've already talked about slope. We talked about the definition. We're not going to re-go over that. But you've got the info here, or you've got the info on other notes. Okay, when I fill out this table based on this equation, so I'm going to use this equation right here to fill out the table. Here we go. We've got a 2, then we've got a 5, 8, 11, 14. If you don't believe me, plug these x's into the equation and you'll see that's what we get. Now, when we do that, you'll notice that these y values are indeed increasing, and they are in fact going up by a plus 3 every time. Okay, that's what this 3 means. Okay, now conversely, when we look at the exact same equation but instead with a negative slope, what that means is the y values are going to decrease. Now when I go to do my graph, I start with the 2 again, but now it's going to be negative 1, negative 4, negative 7, negative 10. Again, if you don't believe me, take these numbers, plug them into the equation, but that's what you get. Now when you look, I bet you can guess what this is going down by. Okay, it's a minus 3 every time, because again, that. Okay, so basically what I want you guys to see here, okay, with a positive slope, okay, you know what, I'm going to create some room here, so hopefully, hopefully you guys wrote this down. If not, just going to have to rewind. Okay, I'll erase all this. Okay, a positive slope makes the y values increase. Okay, that's for positive slope. And on the other hand, a negative slope makes the y values decrease. So if you see the y values increasing, you should already know you're going to have a positive m. If you see them decrease, you should know you should have a negative m. Now on to graphs. Now as we saw today, we had points A and points B. Okay, I'm going to look at it like we did today. Okay, to go from A to B, I'm going to look at the change in my y value. To go there, I have to go up on the y. Okay, when we increase, when we go up on the y, don't forget that's going in the positive direction. In y direction. Okay, and then on the x, we go to the right. When we go to the right, that is positive in the x direction. Now I drew it like this. Okay, I drew it like this because when we do the slope, we are actually going to be dividing. Okay, now you know from math, a positive times or divided by a positive is a positive, so we have a positive slope. Okay, now when you look at this line, okay, this line is going up. Okay, we read from left to right, so from left to right, that line is going up. Okay, so it's up because it's a positive slope. And it's a positive slope because Positive divided by positive. Let's look at another one. Okay, going from A to B, I have to go down. Okay, when I go down, that's negative, okay, in y direction. Whoa, that's a terrible direction. D-I-R. Okay, then we've got over, when I go to the right, remember, that's positive in the x direction. Okay, and again I divide, and I know that a negative divided by a positive is going to be a negative slope. And when I look at this line is in fact going down. So the line is going down because of the negative, and we got the negative because negative divided by a positive is a negative. Let's look at the other one from today. Okay, this one, instead of the A being on the left, the A is now on the right. The A is right here on the right side. Okay, to go from A to B, in the y direction I go up. Okay, remember, that is positive in the y, but on the x I go left, which is negative in the x direction. Okay, and when I put those together, a positive divided by a negative is a negative slope. Now, what some people think is that, oh, I go from A to B, that means I go up. No, that is so wrong. Remember, left to right. Left to right, I go down. So I go down, that means I have a negative slope. I got negative slope from up there. Okay, last combination. To go from A to B, in the y direction, I go down. So that's negative in y direction. Okay, to go from A to B, I have to go left on the x. Again, left is negative in the x direction. But now watch what happens. When I do the division here, a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive slope. Okay, and if I look again, I go up. Remember, I go from left to right. I'm going up. That means it's positive, and it's positive because negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay, so what do we have to remember from this? Basically, if I go up in the y and I go right in the x, or if I go down in the y and left in the x, both of these give me positive slope, which means the line goes up. Okay, if I go down in the y and right in the x, or I go up in the y and left in the x, that's going to be a negative, which means I go down. Okay, hope you did good on this. Hope you understood it. Tomorrow, the first, let's say, 3 people in each class that give me a sticky note, and yes, it has to be a sticky note. No, I will not give you one. You have to find one from somewhere else. The first 3 that give me a sticky note, they say, Mr. Andrade, this video was too long. I will give you extra credit in that. You remember that test we took within groups? I won't count that against your grade unless you want me to. Bye, guys.